Welcome to Quiet Reflections. Today, I want to share with you a story called The Day He Ran Out of Time. By the time he reached the gate, it was already closing. The sun had almost disappeared behind the horizon, painting the sky in deep orange and fading red. He ran as fast as he could, his breath broken, his legs shaking, his heart pounding like it was trying to escape his chest. "Wait," he shouted, reaching out his hand. But the guards didn't move. The heavy gates closed with a sound that echoed louder than anything he had ever heard. And in that moment, he realized something terrifying. It wasn't that he didn't have the chance. It was that he thought he had more time. Have you ever told yourself, "I'll do it later," or "maybe I'll start tomorrow"? It sounds harmless, almost innocent, just a small delay. But what most people don't realize is this. Every later quietly steals something from you. Not loudly, not all at once, but slowly. A little bit of time, a little bit of opportunity, a little bit of the life you could have lived. And by the time you notice, it's already gone. In a quiet town where nothing seemed to change, there lived a boy named Ethan. His life looked perfect from the outside. Loving parents, a comfortable home, good teachers, friends who cared about him. He wasn't struggling. He wasn't lost. In fact, he was smart, very smart. The kind of student who understood things quickly, who could answer questions others struggled with. But there was something about Ethan that no one could ignore. He always said, "I'll do it later." It started with small things. His mother would call from the kitchen, "Ethan, can you clean your room?" And he would answer without even looking up from his phone. Later, Mum, his teacher would assign homework, and Ethan would think, "I've got plenty of time." His friends invited him to join a music class. "Maybe tomorrow," he said. Tomorrow became next week. Next week became next month. At first, nothing seemed wrong. That's the dangerous part. When you delay something once, nothing happens. When you delay twice, still nothing. Life doesn't punish you immediately. It lets you believe everything is fine. And that belief is what traps you. One afternoon, Ethan sat at his desk, staring at his unfinished homework. Outside his window, he could hear his friends laughing, playing, living. He picked up his pen, then put it down. "I'll do it later," he whispered. And just like that, another moment slipped away. Days passed, then weeks, then months, and something started to change. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but quietly. His classmates began to move ahead. The same friends who used to struggle started improving. One of them learned to play the guitar. Another began winning small competitions. A girl in his class who once asked him for help now scored higher than him in every test. And Ethan stayed where he was, still thinking, still waiting, still saying, "I'll start tomorrow." At home, his parents started noticing. "Ethan," his father said one evening, "you're capable of so much more." His mother added gently, "We're not asking for perfection, just effort." Ethan nodded. "I know, I'll fix it." But deep inside, nothing changed. At school, his teacher called him after class. "You're not failing because you don't understand," she said. "You're failing because you're not doing the work." Ethan looked down. He didn't argue, because he knew she was right. But knowing something and changing it are two very different things. And that's where most people get stuck. One night, Ethan sat alone in his room. The house was quiet. His phone lay beside him, his homework untouched. He stared at the ceiling and asked himself something he had never asked before. Why can't I just start? The question stayed there, unanswered. The next day, after receiving another disappointing result, something finally broke inside him. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough to make him uncomfortable with staying the same. That afternoon, he walked out of his house without telling anyone where he was going. At the edge of town, there was an old banyan tree. People said a wise man lived there, someone who understood things others didn't. Ethan had heard the stories before, but he never believed them, not really. But now, he didn't have answers. And sometimes when you run out of answers, you start looking in places you once ignored. The old man sat under the tree, calm and still, as if time moved differently around him. He looked up as Ethan approached. "You look troubled," he said. Ethan hesitated, then spoke. "I don't understand what's wrong with me." The old man didn't interrupt. "I know what I should do. I know I'm wasting time. Everyone tells me the same thing, but I keep saying I'll do it later, and I don't know why." The old man studied him for a moment. Then he smiled. "Let me tell you a story." Ethan sat down, and the old man began. There was once a king who ruled a prosperous land. He was known not for his power, but for his kindness. He cared deeply for his people. One day, while walking through the marketplace, he heard someone shouting angrily. The king walked closer and saw a man arguing with others. As he looked carefully, he realized something surprising. The man was his childhood friend, but life had not been kind to him. He looked tired, worn down, defeated. The king approached him. "What happened to you?" he asked gently. The man laughed bitterly. "Life happened," he said. "No one trusts me. No one gives me work. They say I never finish what I start." The king thought for a moment. Then he said, "Come to my palace tomorrow morning. From sunrise to sunset, you may take anything from my treasury. Gold, silver, jewels, as much as you can carry. It will all be yours." The man's eyes widened. "But remember," the king added, "you only have until sunset. After that, the gates will close." Ethan leaned forward slightly. The old man continued. The next morning the sun rose. The opportunity had begun, but the man didn't rush. "I have time," he told himself. He ate breakfast slowly, enjoying every bite. Then he thought, "I should rest a little." He lay down, closed his eyes, just for a moment. When he woke up, the sun was already high. He jumped up. "I should go." But as he walked, the heat of the day slowed him down. "I'll rest under this tree for a few minutes," he thought. The shade was cool, comfortable, safe. He closed his eyes again. When he woke up this time, the sky had changed. Orange, red. The sun was setting. Panic hit him like a wave. He ran as fast as he could, faster than he had ever run before. But when he reached the palace, the gates were closing. He screamed, begged, pleaded, but the guards didn't move. "It's too late," they said. And just like that, the opportunity was gone. The old man stopped. Silence filled the space between them. Ethan didn't speak, because he already understood. And right here, before we go any further, let me ask you something. Where are you listening to this story from? Drop your state in the comments. I want to see how far this message travels. The old man looked at Ethan. "Every day," he said softly, "is like that treasury. Every morning the gate opens. Every evening it closes. And most people," he paused, "are still under the tree." Ethan felt something tighten in his chest. He thought about all the times he said later, all the days he wasted, all the chances he didn't take. "I've been living like that man," he whispered. The old man nodded. "But you're still early," he said. "Your gate is still open." Ethan stood up, not suddenly, but differently. That night when he got home, nothing magical happened. He didn't become a new person. He didn't feel motivated. He didn't feel inspired. He just started small. He picked up his homework and finished one page. That was it. The next day he almost said, later again. Almost, but he caught himself and started anyway. Some days he failed. Some days he went back to old habits. But something had changed. He noticed it now, the cost of waiting, the feeling of lost time, and slowly, very slowly, he began to move. Weeks passed, then months. This time, something else changed. His grades improved, not instantly, but steadily. He joined the music class he once avoided. His fingers struggled at first, but he kept going. He helped his parents without being asked. He became the kind of person people could rely on. Not perfect, but consistent. Years later, when people asked him what changed his life, he didn't talk about discipline. He didn't talk about success. He simply said, "I realized the gate doesn't stay open forever." And maybe that's the truth most people avoid. We don't fail because we're not capable. We fail because we think we have time. And time is the one thing we never actually control. So let me ask you one last question. What have you been saying later to? Because whatever it is, your gate is still open, but not forever. Subscribe for more stories like this.